Hi friends, and welcome to a very special Halloween story time. We're calling it Boo to You, but I promise these books aren't going to be too scary. We're just going to have fun with them today. And the first one that I want to share with you is called The Runaway Pumpkin, and it was written by Kevin Lewis and illustrated by S.D. Schindler. Once upon a hill, when the wind blew with a chill, wandered Buck and Billy Baxter with their baby sister, Lil. And there upon the hillside, growing orange and fat and fine, the budding Baxters found a pumpkin on a twisty, twirly vine. You might have already gone to pick your pumpkin. Did you go to a pumpkin patch? Yeah, that's always a fun thing to do in the fall time. And the Baxter kids, they go and they find this really big pumpkin. You see it up there on the hill. It was big and it was round, and the boys, their eyes agleam, gave a whoop, a yell, a holler. No finer pumpkin had they seen. And today was Halloween. Yet little Lil was cautious, and of course she tried to warn them, but her bumbling big-headed brothers snapped the pumpkin from its stem. And as she watched them roll it, at first real slow and then much faster, little Lil looked down the hill and she foresaw disaster. Yeah, because with a pumpkin that big, rolling down a hillside, what might happen? A lot of things could go wrong. Let's turn the page and find out what happens first. Round and round across the ground, making a thumpin' bumpin' sound, came that thumpity bumpity thumpin' bumpin' round and rolly runaway pumpkin. A short way down the hillside, that zooming pumpkin caught the eye of mucking Mama Baxter, who thought of Granny's pumpkin pie, till it busted through her sty. Round and round across the ground, making a thumpin' bumpin' sound, came that thumpity bumpity thumpin' bumpin' round and rolly runaway pumpkin. So it rolls past Mama Baxter. Where's it going to go next? A bit farther down the hillside, just beyond the chicken coop, Grandpa Baxter saw that pumpkin and thought of Granny's pumpkin soup, till it knocked him for a loop. Round and round across the ground, making a thumpin' bumpin' sound, came that thumpity bumpity thumpin' bumpin' round and rolly runaway pumpkin. Oh my goodness. It's causing quite a disruption, isn't it? Look at the chickens kind of flying everywhere. Now where's it going to roll to? Now at the bottom of that hillside, where the boundin' pumpkin sped, Papa Baxter on his tractor thought of Granny's pumpkin bread. But Papa Baxter used his head and quickly plowed a pumpkin bed. Oh, good thinking, Papa, right? Maybe now that runaway pumpkin will finally come to a stop. So at the bottom of the hillside, far and round upon the ground, that thumpin' bumpkin pumpkin plopped and didn't make another sound. And as pigs and hens and Baxters gathered round where Papa plowed, little Lil, she gathered Granny and pulled her through the waiting crowd. Buck and Billy looked real proud. They were the ones who pulled it, right? So they're really proud of their ginormous pumpkin. And Lil rushes over to get Granny. Then thumpity bumpity thumpin' bumpin' straight to the kitchen went that pumpkin. And soon after came the smell of dear old Granny cooking something. There are a lot of delicious things you can make with pumpkin, right? Somebody thought of pumpkin soup. I think that was Grandpa. Papa thought of pumpkin bread. Mama thought of Granny's pumpkin pie. So what is Granny going to make with it, do you think? Granny stirred and stewed and baked until the bright full moon rose up, and all those hungry Baxters sat themselves right down to sup. It was such a big pumpkin, she probably could have made all those things, right? She probably made lots of recipes. And at the center of the table, among the soup and bread and pie, sat a grinning jack-o'-lantern with a twinkle in his eye. Look, they're all dressed up in costume, too, for their Halloween dinner. The end. What did you think, boys and girls? This book reminds me of one of my favorite Halloween songs about 5 little pumpkins that were sitting on a gate. I wanted you to do this finger play with me at home, so I invite you to put up 5 fingers, okay? And I'm going to teach you how this goes, so we'll sing it 2 times. You might already know it. It goes like this. 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate, and the first one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." The second one said, "There are witches in the air." The third one said, "Well, I don't care." The fourth one said, "We'd better run and run and run." And the fifth one said, "I'm ready for some fun." Ooh, went the wind and out went the lights, and the 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight. Right? Just like the runaway pumpkin rolled away, our 5 little pumpkins roll away too. Let's try that one more time, boys and girls. Say it with me at home. 5 fingers up. 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate, and the first one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." The second one said, "There are witches in the air." The third one said, "Well, I don't care." The fourth one said, "We'd better run and run and run." And the fifth one said, "Nah, I'm ready for some fun." Ooh, went the wind and out went the lights, and the 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight. Very good. That's one of my favorites to do this time of year. Okay, so our next book is about a witch, and it's called We're Off to Find the Witch's House. This book was written by Mr. Kriebe and illustrated by R.W. Alley. We're off to find the witch's house. Which house? The witch's house. We're off to find the witch's house, but we're not afraid. No, we're not afraid. Do they look scared to you, boys and girls? Or are they being brave? Let's keep reading to find out. We're creeping down the witch's street. Which street? The witch's street. We're creeping down the witch's street, but we're not afraid. No, we're not afraid. We're slinking by a blinking owl, a winking owl, a blinking owl. Wave goodbye to the winking owl, watching with one eye. We're skedaddling past a skeleton, a skittle-scattling skeleton, a skinny, grinning skeleton, shake-rattling its bones. They look a little afraid over here, don't they? Looks like they want to run away pretty quick. We're bolting by Big Frankenstein, the herky-jerky lurching kind, his heavy head held on with twine. Watch out! Don't get too close. We're galloping past a ghastly ghost, a mostly misty, ghostly ghost, a flying, floating, twisty ghost, swishing through the dark. We're rambling past a howling wolf, a scowling wolf, a growling wolf, a hairy, scary, glaring wolf prowling in the park. We're scrambling past Count Dracula, a shirking, lurking Dracula, with flowing cape spectacular and fangs that glow so bright. We're running by a mummy now. I hope we'll make it by somehow. I think I want my mommy now. Here, hold my hand tight. I think they really are scared. Huh? A skeleton, a Frankenstein, Dracula, a mummy, a wolf, all chasing them along the way. 'Cause we're coming to the witch's house. Which house? The witch's house. We're coming to the witch's house with bats and spider webs. Boys and girls, they made it. They're there. That's the witch's house. Dare they knock on the door? We're knocking on the witch's door. Which door? The witch's door. We're knocking on the witch's door. It opens with a screech. There she is. She's standing there. She's standing where? She's standing there. There she is. She's standing there. And we all scream, trick or treat. Look at their faces. Happy Halloween. Wait a second, boys and girls. Look at the witch. Does she look mean or scary? Not at all. Her shadow did, right? Her costume was making the shadow look rather scary because she had a hat and a long fake nose on. But she's not scary at all. She invites them in. Happy Halloween. Come take some candy. I told you, boys and girls, that wasn't too scary at all. All right, boys and girls, and that particular story reminded me of a game that I wanted to play with you. You can see that I have a little tiny witch right here, right? And I have lots of houses, so I wonder which house is hers. We're going to find out because she's going to hide in one of them, and we'll see if we can figure out which one she's hiding in. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Little witch, you fill me with dread. Are you hiding in the house of red? Let's find out. Oop, no witch there. And maybe she's in the blue house. Little witch, if I see you, I'll say boo. Are you hiding in the house of blue? She's not there either. Let's try the pink house. Little witch, do your feet stink? And are you hiding in the house of pink? Nope. No witch. She found a pretty good hiding spot. Let's try the greenhouse. Little witch, why are you so mean? Are you hiding in the house of green? No witch there. Little witch, I wish you were more mellow. Are you hiding in the house of yellow? No witch there. Oh my goodness, maybe she's not in any of them. Little witch, don't make me frown. Are you hiding in the house of brown? She's not there either, boys and girls. Little witch, I think I want to run back. Are you hiding in the house of black? She's not there either. Do you think she's in the purple house? Only one way to find out. Little witch, do you slurple? And are you hiding in the house of purple? There she is. She was in the purple house all along. The very last one we tried, huh? All right, we'll let the witch go back into her purple house. Which house would you want to live in, boys and girls? Do you have a favorite color? For me, I think I would live in the yellow house. I like yellow. All right, are you ready for another story? Okay, so here we are with our ghost story. This is called Ghosts in the House by Kazuno Kohara. Once there was a girl who went to live in a big old house at the edge of town. It was a splendid place, but there was one problem. The house was haunted. Oh no. I wouldn't want to live in a haunted house, would you? Me neither. But the girl wasn't just a girl. She was a witch. And she knew how to catch ghosts. How lovely, she said. I hope there are some more. And there were. How many ghosts does she have in her house? At least on this page, we see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the one coming from down, hanging upside down, makes 6. She continued until she had caught all the ghosts in the house. She really does know what she's doing, doesn't she? She's not afraid. Then she went into the kitchen and put them all in the washing machine. The washing machine? That's curious. Look at them in there, going round and round and round. What is that witch doing? I think she has a plan. When they were clean, she hung them all on the clothesline. It was fine weather for drying. After drying, most of them became curtains. Curtains for her new place. That's a good idea. One of them made a good tablecloth. They were all very useful. The little witch began to feel very tired after all of her hard work. She knew just what to do with the last 2 ghosts. What do you think they're going to be useful for? What is the witch's idea? And they all lived happily ever after. The end. She used the last 2 ghosts as blankets, didn't she? Yeah. She and the cat are cozied up and ready for bed. The end. All right, my friends. I have guess you could call this a story, but it's a different kind of story, isn't it? It's not a book that we're going to use, but here's another little ghost. I guess it's another finger play or another rhyme, really. It's called 5 Little Ghosts. So if you want to put up your 5 fingers again, like we did for the pumpkins, go ahead and do that again, 5 fingers up, and you can follow along with me. 5 little ghosts in a haunted house at play. Along came a funny skeleton, and boo! Chased one ghost away. 4 little ghosts in a haunted house at play. Along came a giant monster, and boo! Chased one ghost away. 3 little ghosts in a haunted house at play. Along came a tiny spider, and boo! Chased one ghost away. 2 little ghosts in a haunted house at play. Along came a silly witch, and boo! Chased one ghost away. 1 little ghost in a haunted house at play. Along came a big fat cat, and boo! Chased one ghost away. The end. Very good. All right, my friends, I hope you're having as much fun as I am. We have one final story to share for our special Boo to You Halloween story time. And this one is actually about Pittsburgh. Yeah, the book is all about Pittsburgh. Are you ready to listen? Okay, so our final story called A Halloween Scare in Pittsburgh. This one was written by Eric James, and it was illustrated by Marina LaRae. Prepare if you dare, a Halloween scare in Pittsburgh. Prepare if you dare for a big Pittsburgh scare, a tale of pure terror to whiten your hair. A night full of sights that are best left unseen. You ready? You sure? This was my Halloween. The werewolves howled loudly. The moon shone so bright. I stayed in my bedroom, the curtains shut tight. My heart started pounding. My knees felt so weak. But, being a brave kid, I just had to peek. Do you see him peeking out the window there? What does he see? I pulled back the curtains. My mouth opened wide. An army of monsters had gathered outside. They staggered and stumbled and lurched down the streets with bags full of cookies and candy corn treats. Emerging from sewers and houses and stores came creatures and critters with ravenous roars. The more came up from all over the state. They filled up the streets at a dizzying rate. See monsters in the restaurant, a witch and a monster having coffee. Here comes Count Dracula out of the sewer. Monsters on bicycles, a witch flying by. From Upper St. Clair and Castle Shannon and Bethel Park too, a mountain of monsters, the motliest crew, all gathered together for one spooky night to seek out the living and give them a fright. The thunder clapped loudly with terrible booms. The witches dodged lightning and clung to their brooms. The two-headed doggies tried chasing their tails, and banshees let loose with their hideous wails. The vampires hung out on the street in their gangs and grinned just to show off their pearly white fangs. The mummies moaned loudly and swayed side to side, while Frankenstein stomped about with his bride. A gaggle of witches arrived in the dark to play witches' baseball at PNC Park. With broomsticks for bats and balls made of lightning, the game was quite thrilling, but also quite frightening. The city of Bridges attracted the trolls, who guarded these crossings and charged sky-high tolls. The locals got fed up with these goings-on and grabbed the trolls, throwing them into the lawn. The creepies were crawly, the crazies were crazed. The Hazelwood zombies had eyes that were glazed. The Sheridan ogres were as ugly as sin, with big bulging noses and warts on their chin. The gulls danced around but were lacking in soul. The gargoyles could rock and the headless could roll. Although the whole spectacle seemed to spell doom, I foolishly thought that I'd be safe in my room. But then something happened that made my heart jump. From somewhere below me, I heard a big thump. I froze for a moment, as quiet as a mouse. Yes, I could hear noises from inside the house. Do you think somebody's inside? I put on my slippers and pulled on my robe. I shook like a leaf, but I don't think it showed. Then, slowly but surely, I crept down the stairs, preparing myself for the biggest of scares. My hands trembled wildly. I opened the door. I still shudder now at the horror I saw. The stereo spat out some hideous sounds as dozens of monsters jumped madly around. There are like monsters in his kitchen or in his living room. Can you imagine going downstairs and then seeing that sight? What would you do? What would your reaction be? The sight was horrific. It made my skin crawl. These monsters were having their Halloween ball. And right in the middle, one monster loomed tall, the hairiest, scariest monster of all. I like this monster shirt. I love Pittsburgh, right? He turned around and saw me. I fell to my knees. I'm not very tasty, so don't eat me, please. He beamed ear to ear and broke free from the huddle, ran over and gave me a big monster cuddle. I don't think he wants to eat him. He's giving him a great big monster hug. At last, we have found you, he said with a smile. From East Hill to Peters, we've looked for a while. We came here to give you your wonderful prize. He held up a trophy in front of my eyes. A prize? And for me? I replied with a grin. But what did I enter and how did I win?
You've won the first prize for the costume you're wearing. It even scares me, and I'm tip-top at scaring.
He doesn't even have a costume on, does he? This isn't a costume. I'm just dressed as me.
Exactly. The scariest thing you can be. A small human child with a cute button nose. Your teeth are so shiny and you've only 10 toes. No hair on your face and no horns on your head. The whites of your eyes are not glowing or red. A bone-chilling costume. A horrible sight. A worthy ensemble for Halloween night.
We partied together until the moon set. A Halloween night that I'll never forget. And next year, I won't want to hide in my bed. The monsters won't scare me. I'll scare them instead. All right, for our final song, we're going to do our own twist. We're going to sing our favorite elevator song, but with a new twist. We're going to pretend we're taking a ride on the Pittsburgh Classic Incline. Oh, this city is big and the city is bright. It lights up the sky on a cold, dark night, but it can get scary when Halloween comes around. So I'll take a classic ride that goes up off the ground. We'll take the incline up, we'll take the incline down. The incline goes up and the incline goes down. The incline goes up and the incline goes down, and it lands with a thump and a bumpity bump sound. One more time, let's do it again. Oh, this city is big and the city is bright. It lights up the sky on a cold, dark fall night, but it can get scary when Halloween comes around. So I'll take a classic ride that goes up off the ground. We'll take the incline up, we'll take the incline down. Take the incline up and take the incline down. We'll take the incline up and we'll take the incline down. And we'll land with a thump and a bumpity bump sound. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed listening to those stories and singing those songs with me. Thank you for tuning in. I want to remind you to go ahead and pick up your craft bags at the library, because everything you need to make a ghost windsock and a jack-o'-lantern magnet for your fridge is in this bag. Everything you need. So make sure you pick it up, and then you can make these fun crafts at home. I wish you all a very happy and very safe Halloween.